I like your hair, by the way.
Thank you.
Fitin10 Nation, welcome to day 43, and we have got a lot of questions, so we're going to get right into it. Martina, you ready?
I am.
Okay, here we go. This person writes, I had a pity party with myself on Wednesday and ate buttered popcorn after trying to figure out how I could incorporate it into my macros and realizing that 1 cup full wasn't going to cut it. So I said, F it, and made a giant bowl and ate it over 2 days, ignoring it in my daily macros. So what can I work on? When I have a bad day and I don't feel well and exercise is not an option, I need to discover again what makes me happy and brings me some joy other than stress eating popcorn.
So much to talk about. You know what? I think, let's start with the start. You know, buttered popcorn is not the end of the world, right? Especially if you have met your protein quota of the day. And 1 cup is actually hugely satisfying. I can tell better than anybody that when you're having something that you're not supposed to have, that brings you pleasure, most likely it's the first 2 bites that will, and then after everything after that is just guilt. So 1 cup of buttered popcorn is just fine.
Yeah, you know, listen, we have to practice self-control. You do. We're adults, we're not children.
I know.
We must practice self-control. We know better. And listen, you're going to eat something, and then you got to deal with the consequences. So, you know, something I've always said to myself, if I want to eat something, and you know, I'm not even hungry per se, but I just want to eat it because it's going to give me some sort of reward, a short-term reward right away. Is I say to myself, I'm going to eat it, and then what? Whatever stress I have or whatever's going on in my mind
It's not going to go away.
Doesn't go away and doesn't change anything. In fact,
it's going to get worse.
It just makes it worse.
I know.
So,
mean, we're talking about dopamine, right? This is like it's a reward. Like it's something that, first of all, it's not food specific. You can absolutely get pleasure. I spent my whole entire day cleaning my house. Oh my God. So satisfying.
Okay. Sure. I don't know if I'd find that satisfying, but listen,
there's so happy.
Okay, well there you go.
You know, there's other things like I like to watch cartoons.
Actually,
I like to play games on my iPad. I love to clean or have the luxury of being able to clean my house in great depth. I love cooking. I love talking to my friends. All these things make me hugely happy.
Actually, you actually do raise a good point about cleaning, because when you accomplish something, when you're productive at something and you accomplish it, that is going to give you more of a long-term reward, and you're going to find deeper meaning. I don't know, at least I do. I'm sure you would as well. You're going to find deeper reward in accomplishing something, or it doesn't always have to be accomplishing something, but that is one thing you can do, and you will get a much longer feeling of reward from that. You will get more stress relief, not in the moment, not when you start doing it, you won't. But as you go through it, I'm sure as when you started cleaning your house, maybe you didn't get that same reward. But as you go through it, and then once it's done, and then you look at it, you're like, okay, I have some satisfaction from that. From this, eating, overeating.
Behavior, yeah.
Yes.
For 2 days straight.
You're just only going to feel worse about yourself. And it's not going to reinforce self-belief. Right? Self-belief and confidence comes from working through things, especially things we don't necessarily want to do, but working through them and then getting them done. It's like proving to ourselves that we can do this.
Absolutely. So, and then, think about this, right? It's like Mark said, you haven't accomplished anything. You walk out of it on the other side in a worse position that you were 2 days earlier. You know, that's why, I was explaining to you that coping, for example, with alcohol is exactly the same thing. Like, you may lose yourself for a couple of hours, but then shit hits the fan eventually, and nothing was done to help you out. So when we're talking about happiness, we literally have to find happiness in anything else but food.
Yes. Okay, food is not a responsible outlet. Again, if it's not something you want to accomplish, go for a walk, read a book, hang out with a friend. Mm-hmm. Avoid these things that we know, or that we can all agree on, are things that are not going to be helpful in the long run.
Now, what does that mean? Exercise is not an option. Exercise is always an option. Exercise is the option.
Yeah, even a walk, or
Your
whatever.
cardio
Yeah.
that you're supposed to do. Get on your bicycle, get out of the house,
All right.
fresh air,
Let's
sunshine, you know,
let's move on to the next
a
question.
bath.
Next question. Here we go. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Trying to balance family obligations and my diet. If I go out for the day, I would need to ensure that I have cooked enough for everyone present if I am to, quote, be prepared. And no, this is a self-psych block. But I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate long-term post-challenge, how to not hide away and still find healthy balance in my nutrition and fitness. Okay, well, you want to say it? You want to talk on this, or you want me to?
Oh, I can talk.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I'm just about to head to Africa, and then I hang out with my family all the time. I am the main cook for my family. I love doing it, So I introduce everybody to healthy food. I cook everybody's meals in bulk ahead of time or with them. And it's been like a really good time for us spending in the kitchen, learning about each other, and then cooking together. And if we go out, I like to make good choices, not just for myself, but for everybody.
So, this again, what you do, and I'm speaking on behalf of not just your family here, but even friends, what you do is what you do for yourself. It's for yourself. So make what you need to do for yourself. Okay, and if others want to partake in what you're doing because maybe they're interested, or maybe even they feel a sense of motivation or empowerment from what you're doing, then that's great. But it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, in this case, you could make your food for the day. Let's say you need whatever it is, 3 meals. You make your 3 meals for yourself. And maybe you stop in at Nando's and you get some salad, rice, and chicken for your family. Mm-hmm. Or something, right?
Yeah, and I can think about like maybe one other circumstance that is different, but I get invited by my friends to eat either at their place or out, and then this is what I would say to them all the time, and I don't even have to say it anymore because they know even during the holidays I'm being invited. I'll say, I really appreciate your invite, but I cannot come. I cannot come because I am dieting at the moment, let's say for a show, and I eat a very specific diet. And guess what? 99% of the time, I would say even 100, I can't even think about one single person that did not stop for a second and say, hey, what it is that you're eating, I would be more than happy to make sure it is available to and for you. And I love that. And then they will make, they'll make a salmon, they will make a brisket, like they'll make a meal that is clean, that they can be proud of, that they'll be like, hey Martina, we have all these clean options for proteins, not just for you, but for everybody else. And I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, and I can guarantee you with family and friends that, it's possible, not to be negative here, but it is possible that you may encounter some resistance with it. But ultimately, if you keep pushing through this, especially with your friends that aren't on board with what you're doing, they are going to eventually you're going to have a good influence on this, is my point.
Yeah.
You will.
Yeah.
So think about what you need to do, what's important to you, take care of that. When it comes to your family, prepare whatever you want for them or not. Like I said, you can still go out or just pop in the grocery store and buy a couple items from them, whether it's from the deli or whatnot. But, it might be a good time to maybe just not force a full amount of influence on them, to the extent that you're doing with the challenge, but maybe start to implement some things that would be better choices for them, so that you are, essentially you're kind of being a good influence and maybe starting to change some of their habits. Just a thought there. But this shouldn't change what is important to you and what you're shooting. Yeah, what you're shooting for. Okay.
Absolutely.
You will have an effect on those around you.
A positive effect. And we talked about going out with and then the choices that we make it and everything. But you have to have boundaries as well. If your family wants to go out and then eat in a place where there's literally no clean food, then you're gonna have to figure it out, right? So. And if you're going to a restaurant, like we talked about this before, you have a look at the menu, you figure it out. It's not complicated. I mean, I have gone to very, very expensive Italian place and then had them replace the pasta literally with vegetables and loved the food that I had.
Yeah.
So it's doable.
All right, listen, we're just past 10 minutes here. One thing I just want to add to this, because this was a comment that was put in by the same person. It says, thanks again, my grandma noted to me that I look like I'm slimming down. Success. So there you go. All right, so congratulations to you. Yeah, because well, we know you're having success. We see it from your check-ins. All right, let's get the message of the day here, Martina.
You're going to read that.
All right, I'm going to read it here. Success. Oddly, funny enough, we just said the word success. Success begins and ends with personal responsibility. Identify what needs to be done and take action. And don't think more on that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's exactly what we're talking about now,
Yeah.
right? Identify what needs to be done and take action.
Yeah, don't think any less of it. Don't think any more of it. Just identify what you have to do and just do it. That's it. That's all you have to do. Okay? Positive energy, positive vibes, believe in yourself, and for the love of God, give some gratitude, and we'll talk to you all next week.